Well, I'm back in the Essen Yacht shipyard in Bodrum, Turkey, and actually the first sign of progress I spotted before I even set foot on the yacht. Now, last time that I was here, the hull hadn't been primed or faired, but even in the last month, the fairing of the hull's been finished, the yacht's been primed now. Now, you may be able to see on the video signs of some blotches on the hull. Now, the reason for that is that after the priming has been applied to the hull, a thin black polish is put all over it with the objective of being able to spot any defects that's in the priming and in the fairing. Now, the shipyard is in the process of going through all those defects, putting them right, perfecting the hull, and then we're some way off it yet, but then the hull will be painted. You may remember the last time that I was here, I was showing these huge areas here for the tender bays with big carbon fibre composite lids which will lift. Now, since I was here last time, the shipyard has actually fitted these huge hinges which will allow the lids to lift hydraulically, and they're starting to test those hydraulic systems as well. Actually, this is one of the best areas of the yacht, and it's an area of the yacht that probably the owner will spend most of his time in. It's kind of hard to tell in the image here, but actually I'm in a part of the yacht which is kind of an inside outside part of the aft deck. Eventually there'll be big sliding glass doors here, so you'll have the inside saloon area, and here we have this beautiful cockpit which is just very slightly lower than the rest of the aft deck, so you're kind of not in a goldfish bowl with people on the dock looking at you. You're quite concealed here, but you're still on the outside of the yacht. Now, one of the reasons I wanted to show this area of the yacht is to bring attention to this staircase. Now, obviously this is not a finished staircase, but one of the big challenges that yacht builders have, not just Essen Yacht and not just sailing yachts, but also motor yachts, is how to have access to the flybridge. I've been in 3 shipyards lately who all had this same conversation. Do they put big steps all the way through the aft deck, which then takes up quite a lot of space from the aft deck, or do they have a kind of a curving stairway up which is a little bit more elegant but then takes out a little bit of space from the flybridge? Now, what most yacht builders do is they try to figure this out with a CAD and with drawings. Well, certainly at Essen Yacht they've done that as well, but they go one step further. What they do is actually build these mock-up staircases. There's one here and there's one out of sight just further in that direction too, but by building the mock-up they can actually study the problem in more detail, they can walk around it, and they can find the best solution so that the owner of the yacht and also the crew have the very best way of accessing the flybridge without taking too much space up from the floor space. Now, here's a deja vu moment. Last month I was in exactly the same position talking to Serkan, the project manager, about the ventilation system for the engine room. Now, that's already moved ahead. It might not be immediately visible, but already they've made the aperture through here for the grill to actually let air in. They're going to be fitting a little gooseneck so that any water that comes in won't then penetrate into the engine room and potentially cause rust to some of the equipment. But interesting as well is this system of valves here. Now, this is a system that controls the side boarding ladder for the yacht. A lot of yachts, even of this size, have a manual side boarding ladder, so that when people approach the yacht in a tender, they'll come down to the side of it, then ladders are lowered so that they can walk on and enter into the yacht. Essen Yachts, they've decided to have a hydraulic system, and it's absolutely beautiful. We have some footage of them testing that system, but basically what happens is the side boarding ladder fits into the side of the hull, so it's completely invisible, and then when guests arrive, or when the owner arrives in his tender, it flips out from the side of the hull and lowers down into the water, allowing him easy access to the vessel. Now, the last time that I was standing in here, I described the area as an empty box. So actually we're in one of the guest cabins. Well, the empty box is filling up now. This is finished cabinetry here, all ready to be installed. They don't actually bring in too much of the finished cabinetry at this point because they don't want to damage it with all the work that's going on, but this is well protected and covered, so they've kept this here for storage for now. What we have here is a fuse box for the electrics. Obviously that too is a really important feature, and slowly this part of the yacht is starting to take shape. So I'm sitting here with Jesper Bank of Elvstrom Sails. Very clearly a sailboat. One of the most important features is the sail. First of all, Jesper, thanks for taking the time. What's your experience in sailing?
It goes. I mean, I did the full tour, starting in Optimist and ending in the America's Cup, and everything in between there, including a couple of Olympic medals. So I think I've done the full circle, and now I'm specialized in bigger yachts, super yachts like Troy.
I guess that the sail for Troy, I mean, it's a 155-foot single-masted sloop. It must be able to take quite some strains and pressure. What can you tell us about the challenges of building a sail like that?
Absolutely right. It is a challenge to even do the engineering around the sails, and we actually invested quite a lot of resources, time and money in running all the calculations to know the loads in the corners and in the center and the body of the sails. So we know that if anything breaks, it's not the sails.
That's great, thanks. And how are you enjoying working with everybody at Essen Yacht here in Turkey?
It's been a pleasure because the guys are really open and asking all the right questions, and it's a very open dialogue. It's like calling your mates when you call in. It's been for us a pleasant way of actually working in the super yacht industry. As I said, like working with friends.
Perfect. Thanks very much, Jesper. Appreciate your time.